Right, hey guys, I'm Julian, and in this one what I'm going to be doing is making my own little dowel jig scenario. I had a look all over the internet, and the one that popped up the most was probably Izzy Swan's one. It's a great simple video. You have to go see it. I'll link it down below. When I watched that, the first thing that I thought was, you know, maybe we could 3D print that, and that's what I did. So what I'm after with this is a way to make these jigs super quick, super easy, and exactly the right dimension that you want. I'm after, in a project coming up, after a whole lot of 15mm dowel, and I want to make them out of some recycled, reclaimed timber that I have lying around. So that's the plan with this. Let's get into it. Right, so the first thing that I did was I just modeled up something really simple. The powerful thing with modeling this up in Fusion 360 is that you can set up a whole lot of parameters inside the program, and then go back, and all you have to do is bang in, you know, the measurements that you want, and it should come out with exactly the right dowel. That's the theory anyway. I've also milled up a few blanks, so these are them. They're Heart Remu, which is a New Zealand native timber. I took them to the high school, used their table saw just to split them up. I am absolutely terrified of that machine, and especially cutting small things like this. So I came up with a little kind of easier way to make a little hexagon on it. So all you do is you cut it to square, so it's a square piece, and then you notch in a big board a V that's similar to the size of the dowel that you do want. And then I ran it through the thicknesser. Super easy, super safe as well. No kickback, no chance of putting your hand in the blade. This is probably the easiest way I could possibly think about doing it. They came out really awesome. So if you are after that and you do have one of those, that's definitely the way to do it. This might be the quickest video of all time, if it works first time, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's have a go. Right, so let's be honest. This absolutely 100% didn't work. So all it's done is melt the plastic. Idiot. This is the end where I melted the plastic. Okay, so my first try, when I first did that top bit, I don't think I was going fast enough. I was at the wrong angle, blah 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 blah. And that's what's led to this 3D print of mine completely melting and blowing out. I think that it was actually just my error. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to print it again. You know, once I got the angle right and got it going, it actually did not too bad a job. A lot of you are going to be watching it going, yeah, well, we could have told you that wasn't going to work. It's plastic, it's going to melt. Right, hindsight 2020, okay? But you know, that's not good enough. I've got kind of another plan in my head here. So what I've thought about is going to take this bad boy and make myself up a little jig. Hopefully this works. So straight to the computer, we're gonna model something up that fits on this plate. Once it fits on this plate, it'll have interchangeable little bits and kind of a control that you can dial in exactly the size of the dowel that you want. Let's give that a go, hey? Looks like a face. Okay, so this is version 2. In theory this should work. What happens is you got a bigger hole on one side and it tapers to the small hole. As it does that, it touches the bit. The reason why I'm thinking it will probably work is because I might even be able to feed it in just by hand. The friction isn't enough that it's going to need to be forced with the drill. We'll see how we go. We're going to give it a little test, but yeah, that's the theory. It might end up being a 2-person job. Okay, that's just me hand feeding it in. I think it's time to get the grill out. Results. Okay, we just obviously got to safety up this jig. We'll give it another go. Perfection. Holy, that worked so well. Yeah, once you get into it, it just cruises. If you go nice and slow, you get a beautiful finish. If you go too fast, like I did here in the middle, you obviously skip a bit and then it struggles to come out of the outfeed part. But once you get the speed right, absolutely brilliant. This is going to take like no time at all to finish up. Just a light little hand sand and that's that. Stoked, absolutely stoked. Yeah, I guess now I'll make some more. So all of those have come out beautifully. There's going to be a little bit of light sanding. If you get the speed of your feed correct, honestly, you wouldn't need to sand them. There's some bits on this that are absolutely perfect. It's just about, you know, getting a bit of practice. I only did 5 of them. I'm saving a couple of these last ones because there's still some modifications that I do want to make to it. What, you thought it was over? No, I'm really happy with how it turned out, but at the moment, 2 things. One, I can only use it for that size. The other thing is that it makes a hell of a mess. So I want to maybe add a little, obviously it doesn't need the 2 pieces, so I'll take the one hole out and I'll put a vacuum attachment onto it. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to make interchangeable holes for different sizes. So if we just say for this one you want to make dowels from 15 to 20 mils, and it'll have little bits that drop in and out. So let's go do that and then we'll talk about the final one. Hopefully she's just as good as this one. Alright, so here it is, nice and simple. It's now 2-piece design. So the bit you can see in green in this one is the, let's say, the base plate. So it's got all the mounting points that it needs. It also lines the tool up and it's got a bit for extraction. If I go into the parameters part here, you can see that the other bit, the little black bit, is updatable. So if I put in 20 mils, press enter, it updates. If I put in 10 mils, same again, it updates. This gives me full control over not only the size of the dowel that I want, but also the size of the trimmer that we did inevitably want to use. Here, my trimmer is 13 mils and the whole design itself should update when you change these parameters. Pretty exciting. Let's get it on the print. Okay, so that one didn't work. It looks like I've got the alignment off again. I did make quite a few changes to the algorithm that makes the hole, and it looks like I changed too much in that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and just go back to whatever the shape and size and everything was for the first one. Cool thing about this little setup, besides having full extraction, is that I only have to reprint this bit and try again. So let's go. So that's the one, that's how it comes as my stock. This one here is after running through the tool, and then this beautiful one is after just a normal hand sand at about 100, I think it's 180 grit, but it's unbelievably soft. Sweet, so that's it. Thanks for watching. It was actually quite a fun little project to see if I could get a dowel out of some recycled timber. The next project that I use all these dowels for is going to be pretty fun, so make sure you subscribe and you know what to do. Other than that, if you did want any of these files, I'm going to link them down below on my Thingiverse account. Help yourself. I'll also probably link in there the Fusion file so people can have a play with all the parameters and that kind of stuff. Just take it with a grain of salt. It is my working, and you kind of need to know what you're doing to play with that, but it's all there. If you did want to download and print the one for the router, I suggest that you are going to have to make a little interface place between my design and your router, because what I've noticed is that every single router is different. But you can make that out of a piece of MDF and some bolts, even glue it to the thing. Super simple. So as long as you're happy with doing that, feel free. If you do download it and mess around with the design or anything, please share it with me. I love seeing those things. You can just do it as a remake on Thingiverse. Absolutely love seeing that. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. You know what to do.